So wara'a is the next stage of development. You have already made a commitment to stick to the halal. You've already made a commitment to avoid that which is explicitly, undoubtedly, unsuspiciously haram. But now there's these ambiguities. There's areas of debate. There's areas of, difference of opinion, maybe even. And for yourself, this is the key term, you decide, I'm going to stay to the most explicit and obvious decision, and I'm going to avoid that which is suspicious. And that leads me to my next point. So we understand that wara is this next stage of development where you have already avoided the explicitly haram. But now we get to the next stage where anything that is suspiciously haram, you avoid it as well. And you stick to that which is clearly, manifestly halal. And anything that gives you some level of uneasiness in your heart, you're like, man, I don't know about that. If you discipline your nafs and you say, I'm going to avoid it, I'm going to stick to that which is clear. يعني دع ما يريبك إلى ما لا يريبك. These are principles, right? These are axioms from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, how to navigate life. Avoid that which causes you some level of doubt, and stick to that which does not cause you to feel uneasy and doubtful, right? The next point that I want to conclude with here, and this is very, very important, please listen. Wara is an expectation for my own personal development. I cannot expect wara for the community. You should not expect wara for the others. You should not expect wara for those around you. So yes, you can avoid when there's some level of ikhtilafat or difference of opinion, and there's some ambiguities of whether something is halal or haram, and you have some scholars that say it's halal, others say it's haram. The wara implies that I should take the most explicitly halal direction. But that does not mean we need to expect that for the community. We need to understand everyone has different circumstances. And so if you're engaged in some level of teaching or some level of tarbiyah or some level of engagement in the community leadership, and you're expecting them to take the most strict opinion because you've decided to take the most strict opinion, or you're expecting them to take the most explicitly halal opinion and avoid that which has suspicion, but understanding that within the tradition, within the ikhtilafat, there are valid arguments for each of these different opinions. Wara is an expectation for myself. I should not expect it for the community. In fact, when it comes to community leadership, we should be thinking about the weakest amongst us, not the strongest amongst us. And we take our principles of community leadership from the salah, just like we talked about earlier, that the salah is a training ground for the self and for the community. Even in the concept of leadership, the Prophet ﷺ, he taught the imam of the prayer that you think about the weakest amongst you. You think about the one who's just coming in like, oh man, I gotta get home to eat. I'm coming home from work, I'm tired. You think about that person. You don't think about the one who's mashallah, solid. You don't extend your prayer so long that it becomes burdensome for people. Similarly, when it comes to wara'a, we should not expect that for the community. Yes, we should encourage it for the community. We should teach it to the community. And that's part of the process of self-reformation, and we should encourage that for others. But we should not expect it for others. When we talk about wara, it's very critical, important for us. People don't understand there's that line of expecting it for yourself and expecting it for others.